Okay, so you know what a really good system is, Mark?
Well, one that underperformed horribly. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's like an oxymoron. Underperformed is bad and horribly is bad, so it's terrible. But the Wii U, I'm gonna be honest too. Like, I only recently got it this year, and I don't have a whole lot of games. I got this stack right here, but the ones that I have, I like I like them all. Actually, there is one I haven't played yet, but um, one of my favorites. We'll talk about some must-have games. Um, I really, really, really like the NES Remix Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do know that the remix was on the Wii, wasn't it?
Nope.
I think.
It's
No?
Wii U. Yep.
See, I thought it was like a remake.
They were both. There was the NES Remix 1 and Remix 2 that were on the eShop, and
Okay.
once the second one was out for a while, they made the physical disc with both of them.
Okay, well that makes sense. 'Cause I mean, I didn't, like I said, I'm kind of new to the Wii U, and it kind of sucks that they're ending it, but
Yeah, it really
it is,
does.
it is what it is. Nintendo lied, but they kind of had to, I guess. So I had to put out the fire. So anyway, the remix, for those who don't know, like I thought what it was just the old games, and then you could like use Zelda or Metro was Samus in like your Mario game, but that's actually not what it is. It's a bunch of mini games that involve the various old school games that have a twist. Like for
A
instance,
remix.
yeah, I mean, but it's different because of all these mini games, and like I got hooked. Like I back in the day I used to play Dr. Mario a lot. Well, they have Dr. Mario in here, and they have tasks that you try to defeat, and it's awesome. And then actually one of the things that they have in here, they have the original Super Mario Brothers that you play in reverse,
That's awesome.
and that is so different. It's crazy, but again, this is a must-have game in my opinion, and brand new. It's only $20 because this one's a Nintendo Selects.
Yep, and that's one reason why I wanted to do this segment because there's a lot of Nintendo Selects for the Wii U, meaning that they're all $20, and there's just
Yeah,
so many good games. So many.
like Super Mario 3D
Yep.
World.
That game is one fantastic 3D Mario that supports 4 players, and you get to play as Princess Peach with her floating ability, like in Mario 2, which is pretty cool. And then you get a cat suit. What else could you ask for?
Yeah,
Seriously, you
that's
get to.
that's definitely it's definitely different. You get to climb walls and shit with it.
Yeah, you get to hear Mario meow. That's pretty awesome, right?
For
All all kidding aside, it is awesome. Like it's a fun power up. It legitimately adds a lot to the experience.
and because of that game, there now I haven't reached that section yet, but I know that Toad's in there and he has his own mini games.
Yep.
And Nintendo heard a lot of fans say, "Hey, we want more of this." So then they brought out, you
Yep.
know,
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Uh,
and now I haven't actually played it yet because I kind of wanted to play through 3D World
yep.
first,
Now I did
but
play through. I did play all the way through 3D World, and the Captain Toad parts are really, really fun. So basically, it's like you're in a square kind of arena level thing, um, and you are moving Captain Toad through it, but you can't jump. So,
oh,
and you, I don't, I think there's a way you can attack enemies. I think you have to. it's not really an attack, so to speak, but I think if you blow into the microphone, you stun the enemies.
Oh,
So,
geez.
a neat little quirk. But basically, the Captain Toad levels are puzzle levels. And you have various tasks, of course, so can't really describe what exactly you do, but they do have a good amount of variety. They're very fun. So when they came out with Captain Toad, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm on board. Now, me, I wanted to mention the probably the most obvious must-haves for the system, and that's the Zelda HD remakes, both Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, because these are how remakes, HD remakes, should be done. Um, Wind Waker adds the quick sail or fast sail or whatever the hell they call it, basically to help sailing be more uh, fast. Like it's not as boring and slow. Some people didn't mind it in the original Wind Waker, but it literally put me to sleep because there's a lot of sailing and seeing nothing going on. Um, and this fixes it. And with Twilight Princess, it also has some special items added too, and including a whole dungeon if you have the amiibo, I think. But with Twilight Princess, they actually went back and redid a good chunk of the textures
That's
in
good.
HD. So I personally liked the kind of hazy look that the GameCube and Wii game had. I think it lended itself well to the atmosphere they were creating. But the HD textures, they look nice. And let's not forget that Twilight Princess is probably the most realistic Zelda game we may ever get. Like in terms of tone and style, it's gotta be the closest. So,
Mm.
so what about those shooting fans? I mean, there's a couple Call of Duties on the system, but I think we
I've
both know of
never.
another game that,
Yeah, well, for me, actually, Splatoon is a good one.
yep,
Not exactly a shooting game that, like the typical
yeah,
first person shooter would be, but man, is it fun. I played it online, I don't know, it was when I did play it, I played it for several days in a row for several hours each, and for me that's kind of rare right now.
hmm,
It's like I've got freelance work to do. Nah, I'm gonna play this instead. Yeah. But I love the visual style,
yep,
and it just shows that Nintendo can come up with new IP. It's just that they're not going to just come out with something just because,
yeah,
they're going to come out with something that's going to do well, and it did do well.
right,
I mean, it sold several, what, I know it sold over a million
yeah.
copies.
It's one of the best-selling games on the Wii U, which you know, even though the system didn't sell well, to be among the best-selling means that you struck a chord with
Yeah.
Nintendo fans. Splatoon is like in the most basic sense, it's a shooter, but it's basically about painting the level whatever your team's color is, and at the end having more of your color on the map than the other team. And it's a simple premise, but it works. It's really fun, and there's a lot of weapon variety and customization options, a lot, just all kinds of stuff. Um, of course, you need to update it to see a lot of that stuff because they added a lot of post game stuff for free through patches. So the base game that's on the disc is a little bare bones compared to what you get after you update it.
Yeah. Um, and then I'd like to also, now I don't have this, was I've played it a few times at Best Buy, is Super Mario Maker, and I know a lot of Wii U owners have it. I mean,
Me included.
it's probably it may be one of the best games that has come out, even though it has stuff that's 30 years old or whatever. But it doesn't matter because it's so awesome. Um, I kind of hope that in some cases that when the Switch comes out, they'll bring out another version, but instead of it being Super Mario Maker, make it like the Nintendo Maker, so that you could actually remix various, characters or games or whatever. I mean, think about what you could do, especially if they had it where you could do Super Mario 3D World, but instead of using Mario, you're using Splatoon characters, and you get to use your paint gun, and I mean that kind of stuff could be cool.
I think that I think we're absolutely going to see a version of Super Mario Maker on the Switch. But for those of you getting a Wii U still, it's absolutely worth picking up because it's a blast. It's weird how Nintendo managed to tap into that Minecraft creativity aspect a lot with Mario Maker, which is kind of strange because they're wildly different in a lot of ways. But it's really cool because just the whole creation of the levels is really fun for me anyway, and then being able to play other people's levels, that's awesome too. And they all get, you can upload them all online so other people can download them. The only thing is, before you can upload, you have to finish your level. So you can make it as hard as you want, but you have to finish it before it can be uploaded. Like, you have to play through it. So when you see those videos on your Facebook feed from some crazy ass level that somebody made, yeah, they played through that whole thing so that it could get published online.
That I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's how they make sure that it's possible. So it's pretty awesome. Anyway, I know YouTube and Nintendo don't get along with Mario Maker content specifically, but if you can find some videos, just check them out. There's some crazy levels out there, and honestly, they could just do that same game on the Switch, and I think it would just be a massive success all over again, just because the console is probably going to be a lot more successful. Now, I love racing games, and the Wii U doesn't have a lot of them, but what it has is high quality racing games. So the most obvious one I want to mention that might be kind of hard to find nowadays is actually Need for Speed Most Wanted U. EA took the PC build of the game and they threw it onto the Wii U with everything the same as the PC version rather than the Xbox version. And it shows. It looks better than the previous console generation, so that's cool, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Fast Racing Neo because that game shows what the Wii U can do to the max. And it's an F-Zero game, essentially. So, there's that.
Yeah. Now, is it digital only?
So far, it's digital only. However, the developer, they have alluded to making stuff for the Switch. And they said that they want to remain Nintendo exclusive. So, let's cross our fingers and hope for the sequel to Fast Racing Neo on Switch. Or maybe a new F-Zero from them guys. That'd be cool too.
Oh man, yeah.
It's an excellent game. If you haven't seen it, look up some trailers and stuff. The visuals are they're amazing. Like, you look at that and then you go and look at like PS4 and stuff. It falls in line. Like, it really does. It just goes to show that in the right hands, people could do some crazy stuff with the Wii U. Now, before we move on past racing, I gotta mention two others. Because you can't have a Nintendo console without a Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 is excellent.
Yes, it is.
So many aspects of that game are so good. I'm not even going to detail them all. I'm pretty sure that anybody watching this video is probably very familiar with the praise that game gets. But what I want to mention is there's another kart racer that I think is actually better. And that is Sonic and then the Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed. I know I'm going to get some haters, but I freaking love that game. I've played so much more of that game than I did of Mario Kart 8 that it's ridiculous. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to go into all of them here because I actually have an article on the website coming up probably about the time this gets uploaded where I talk about it. But basically, it feels amazing. Like, Sega's arcade pedigree shines right through into Racing Transformed, and it's a fantastic game. And it's been $20 for a couple of years now, so if you see it, you can get it for cheap. It's an absolute must-buy, in my opinion.
Well, I do know we have a multi-plat game, but it started out on the Wii U first, and that's Shovel Knight.
Yep.
And the soundtrack alone for that, to me, is worth buying. Now, I purchased the soundtrack before the game, so, man...
It's so good. It makes me feel like a freaking hero. You're listening to it, and it's like, yeah.
But the game too it just brings back old school 8-bit. It's like 8-bit's not dead.
No. The best way to describe Shovel Knight, in my opinion, is to say that it's kind of like the NES DuckTales game, or even the remaster, which is also excellent, combined with like Castlevania. I feel like it's kind of a good blend in there. And you play a knight who uses a shovel as a weapon, so it sounds ridiculous, but it's so fun it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Keeping with the 2D theme, while not 100% 2D, it still needs to be mentioned because of how great it is. And that's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Retro knocked it out of the park. They did an excellent job with the Wii game. The Wii U game, leaps and bounds better. And that's hard to even top, in my opinion. I don't know, just the level design is at least as good as the original Wii game. They added water levels again to this one. They didn't have them in the Wii game. I don't know how many people realize that, but the water levels were not in the Wii version of Donkey Kong Country Returns. But they added those, and they actually made them feel pretty good. They're still super frustrating, like water levels tend to be. But they gave some perks, like Dixie Kong. If you have her, she can twirl her ponytail to act like a propeller. So you kind of zip through the water more fluidly. No pun intended. And it just works out really well. You also get to play as Cranky Kong for the first time in the Country series. And that's interesting too, because it's very much like playing Scrooge McDuck on DuckTales. So a lot of DuckTales love in this little video, but that's one to check out too. Yeah, we got a few more here. Do you want to talk about either of these at all? Or?
I honestly don't know that I've played either.
Okay, well, for you strategy guys out there, or people who just like Nintendo and strategy games with Nintendo themes, Pikmin 3. Buy it. Play it. I'll admit, it's not perfect. The control scheme is a little wonky because of the way that they use the gamepad, and to be honest, just grab a damn Wii remote and nunchuck. I hate to say it, but that is the way to play. The gamepad works, but it can give you cramps in your hands. It's not perfect, but the game is excellent. It has it's basically like your ship is broken down. You need to get supplies, so you go down to this planet, try to find food. and the parts that you need to fix your ship. And that's the whole essence of the game. But you can't be down there at night or else the monsters will get you. So you only have daytime hours to collect food and stuff and make juice out of it, because they juice everything. One thing I will say is the game has the most realistic fruit I've ever seen in a video game. That's something, right? Realistic lemon? That's pretty cool. Don't see that in every game. But yeah, Pikmin 3, it's a blast, and it adds a lot of variety to the Wii U library. And kind of like a honorable mention in the same sort of category is the Wonderful 101. That is it's more action heavy by a long shot than Pikmin, but it's kind of strategy action, and it's from Platinum Games, so definitely check that out. It's Wii U exclusive. It's a lot of fun also.
I'd like to also bring up Star Fox Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll be honest, I haven't played the retail game. They do have a demo, however, that I played. And the demo itself was pretty good, but I'm not 100% sure on the retail, simply because I haven't played the full version.
Yep. That is something that I have also. My collection is rather big. If I can remember, I'll give you a screenshot to throw on this video. It's about as good as you could have hoped for with the Star Fox series on the Wii U. There's only some minor complaints I have that could ruin it for some, but I think overall it's Star Fox 64 Part 2, sort of, and many people consider that to be the best Star Fox. The problem I have is that you sometimes have to use the gamepad to get a first-person view and aim at certain targets.
Ooh.
It works sometimes, but when you're in the big open battles, it can be very frustrating. I actually got to a point, I don't think I've actually got past it yet, where I was fighting Star Wolf, and I have to use the gamepad to get a good lock on him, and it's just frustrating me too much. I keep losing them, and then have to circle around, and that kind of could ruin it for some. Now, I've heard other people review the game and stuff, and they don't seem to have a problem, so maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know.
Put that in the comments.
Yeah, just let me know how stupid I am. I wouldn't want to forget. But yeah, I think that's a good handful of the games that are definitely worth owning for the system.
Actually, there is. There
are many more. There are many more.
There's a lot more. Like I picked up, Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised how good it looks on the Wii U.
Same goes for Black Flag, actually.
Yeah, I don't have that yet, but let's see. Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge. That actually looks really good on there. The controls are different, mainly because the gamepad, but I think it's still pretty good overall.
Mm-hmm.
And then me, out of all people that's going to recommend this particular game, is probably shocking, at least for Greg.
Yeah.
Is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, when I bought my system, this came with it, used. Now, the guy that I bought it from, he said he played this once, and that was it. And I'm like, okay. And I played it twice. But I played it for a couple hours, and it's actually a game I think I might try to finish, but I do know that it's pretty long.
It's lots to chew on. Like, there's a lot of meat there, and I will say that it's fun. Like, as far as Japanese RPGs go, if you get a Wii U, this is probably your best bet for that.
But it also
It's
shows
not
how
your
good
only,
the
but
visuals are, like
yeah,
what the system could do.
yeah.
And then there's another game. Now, this is also available for other systems now, but originally it wasn't. And that's Zombie U.
Yep.
Um, it's definitely not like, it wasn't a system seller, but it was a launch title. And I just like, for one, I think the graphics are actually pretty good. They're not like anything compared to what we get today, but when this came out, I thought, that it looked fantastic. I need to get it, and I just
Took a
took me
couple of
some.
years of getting it.
Yeah, well, I found it at a store called Dirt Cheap. I paid like $5 for it, so to me that was a no-brainer. But
Good pun.
haha, I didn't even mean it. But the way they use the controls and everything, the gamepad was used, I think, 100% perfect
Yeah.
on how they did it.
You want to describe that for him real quick? The basic
Well,
gist of it? Or do you need me to?
yeah, I might need you to. It's been a few months.
So basically, imagine you are playing a first-person zombie game, and it's more survival focused. And in typical games, you pick up ammo and whatever other loot you find, and it goes into an inventory screen. And sometimes games will say, "Well, that's your backpack." Well, in this game, your backpack is visible on the gamepad, but when you're looking at it, it doesn't stop the action around you. So when you're messing with your inventory, zombies can still attack you and sneak up on you and everything, which adds a lot of tension. So when you decide you are going to go through your inventory, pick your moment, because just because you went in your inventory screen doesn't pause the game at all. So that's how it used it. And yeah, it's pretty well implemented, in my opinion, too.
I definitely didn't have any issues.
I did want to mention, I guess, one or two other games that made really good use of the gamepad. Splinter Cell, Blacklist. It did a really great job integrating gamepad features, in my opinion. Basically, like when you use the air drone to spy on your enemies and stuff, you could actually see what the drone sees on the gamepad, which is pretty cool. And like when you use like the wire cam under the door and stuff, or the sticky cams that you threw against the wall, you'd see that stuff on the gamepad as well. The only knock I have against the game is that, for one, they didn't really optimize it for the Wii U style of analog stick, which makes it kind of too twitchy. And then the biggest knock I have is that when you're looking at like your sticky cam on the gamepad, it literally makes the screen on your TV blank until you exit the sticky cam. So you can't just like look up and see what's going on around you in the game and then look back down and see what's on the sticky cam. It's because it just blacks out the other one when you're not using it. Kind of a bummer. I gotta say, Nintendo Land makes a lot of interesting uses of the gamepad. I'm not gonna talk about it too much because it literally is just a mini game. It's Wii Sports for the Wii U, kind
I
of.
see.
And actually, Wii Sports on the Wii U deserves a mention. Check it out if you haven't. It is a nice upgrade from the Wii game. But the last one I wanted to mention is Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and it might be for Ghosts also, but I haven't checked it out yet. And it's the ability to use many, 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 many different control schemes for the game. So you can use the gamepad, you can use the Wii U Pro controller, you can also use the original Wii Classic controller, you can use the original Wii's remote and nunchuck configuration, and I think that might be it. But that's like a lot of different control options. You will notice, however, when you play online, when somebody's using a Wii remote, they are killing everybody else way faster than you are if you're using analog sticks.
I think I might be able to agree with that. Um, I not that I've played Call of Duty on the Wii U, but using the Wiimote and nunchuck with Resident Evil 4,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that I'm aiming at the zombies like so quickly.
Yep.
I could see how that would translate into first-person shooters.
Yep.
I mean, it's superior in my opinion. I think honestly, in some cases, it might even be better than keyboard and mouse. If implemented properly.
At least
Just
as good.
yeah, you could probably hold your own with them.
Yep. And people certainly do on those games. One last feature I want to mention with that is they have the ability to do multiplayer, local multiplayer, using with one person on the TV screen and one person on the gamepad. So you can technically go through the co-op campaign and have one player playing on the gamepad, while the other one has the whole TV to themselves. So I thought that was pretty cool work on their part, making use of the Wii U's features.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Kind of like to see that with the Switch, but they've already said they're not going to have any two-screen experiences going on there. So, if you want to try it out, get a Wii U. And lastly, we need to quickly discuss some must-have peripherals for the system, because there are some pieces of hardware you really, really, really need if you're going to have a Wii U.
Definitely. Now, I do want to mention that we will have the games and the peripherals in the description with our Amazon affiliate link.
Yep.
So if you see any of these that you want to, pick up cheap, we'll link to the cheapies, and you can help support us a bit.
Yep. So, Mark, there's obviously some obvious things here. Obviously, some obvious things that worked out well. That they're pretty self-explanatory. There's some things you obviously are going to need for a Wii system.
Yeah. Now, I have personally the 32 gig system, and I do not really have enough games, and I haven't bought any Wii Shop titles, so getting an external hard drive for me is not urgent. However, a lot of people might benefit from it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I know you have that and have enjoyed having the extra space.
Yeah, because I don't ever have to think about it.
Yeah.
I suppose if you're gonna stick to like Virtual Console, you probably don't need the hard drive, because those games are teeny tiny, and you could fit a ton of them on the original Wii's 512 megabits, or bytes, whatever it was. So technically, if you're sticking with just Virtual Console, you're probably fine. But when you get into like certain indie games, or if you want to buy digital versions of, like, I know Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is 20 gigabytes by itself. So if you have a 32 gig model, and you want to download Donkey Kong Country, well, you're shot. Like, you have nothing left. So it's really worth getting one, in my opinion. I'm sure the eShop is going to be going much longer than the system production is. I suspect it'll be going for at least another 2 or 3 years. But that being said, I ended up getting the 8 gig model because that's all they had at the store that I went to that day. And I actually expected the Wii U to sell better than it did, so I was in a hurry. But that same day, I also went and got... it might not have been the same day. I think it was a couple days later, because right after the Black Friday rush, I got a 750 gig hard drive at the time, and it's like $50. So, or 55, Shit. And I think they had a 500 gig for 50, and it's like, well, I know I don't need 750 gigs for the Wii U, but it's like $5-10 difference. Like, whatever, might as well. So
That's crazy. That's still even today. That's
yeah, that's a lot for the Wii U for sure. I mean, it would be somewhat adequate for like Xbox One or PS4, but Wii U, it's way more than enough. I do want to add that the Wii U only supports the USB 2.0, and most USB drives sold today are 3.0. And the concern here is that 3.0 drives may require more power than the USB 2.0 ports can offer. And there are two alternatives to this, because my drive is a 3.0. And that's to get a USB Y adapter cable. So you plug the one hard drive into both the Wii U's ports, USB ports on the back. And that'll work. Or just get a USB hard drive that has external power where it needs to be plugged into the wall. So keep that in mind if you decide to get a hard drive for your Wii U. Another thing that's super, super necessary, probably more so than the hard drive, is the high capacity battery for the gamepad.
Yeah, I've noticed that the battery is kind of poopy.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 hours something. I upgraded mine as soon as Nintendo made the new one available, and I got the official one from them. It was like $30 at the time. Can't imagine it's necessarily going to go up, but never know. Could be like GameCube component cables. Hopefully not. But when you upgrade to the high capacity battery, you get about 8 hours playtime. So it's like, it's better. It's like double the battery life, and it's good enough to get through like a good day of playing. So it's definitely preferable to the 3 to 4 hours of game time with the regular battery. And some other things you may want to consider are Wii remotes, nunchucks to go with them.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed actually there's a couple games that support it. Like, well, let's see. Let me
Call
check
of Duty,
here.
like I
Right
just
here.
mentioned.
NES Remix is one of them.
Yeah.
Definitely because like when you're playing Mario, that style of, I guess, NES style controller
Yeah.
really is beneficial.
And
And then actually,
Super
which
Mario 3D World does too.
well, I haven't tried it, but Splatoon does
Yep.
to a degree. And it says here uses the Wiimote with the classic controller. So,
Oh, okay.
but hey, even that's probably cool. Let's
Now,
see.
I know Super Mario 3D World does support it as well
Yeah, I just saw it.
for like the multiple players. New Super Mario Brothers U, which we did not mention yet, it actually supports it too because it's also 4 players. Let's see. I'm just looking through the list here. Mario Kart 8 does, and I believe Sonic Racing Transformed also does. Super Mario Maker does. And I'm not sure about Donkey Kong or Shovel Knight, but I know Pikmin 3 also makes use of it. So it's worth having at least one set of Wii Remote and Nunchuck. If you get like Wii Fit U, which is also excellent, which I didn't mention, or even Wii Sports Club, they actually have some enhancements where they remove the nunchuck from the equation and have you use 2 remotes.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, and it is better. Like clearly, they both have Motion Plus right in them, and they're wireless. So there's that, and like I do want to briefly mention the Wii Sports Club. The golf version on there is awesome. I don't even like golf myself, but it's so cool because you literally set the gamepad down on the ground, and it shows your ball on the grass, on the tee. And then you use the Wii Remote standing up to take your shot at the ball that's on the screen on the gamepad on the floor. So it's like golf to a much much better degree than what was previously done. Are you understanding this?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that because during the Wii days, I played the golf game from Wii Sports like all the time, and
Yep. Well, each
it was like my
sport,
one of my favorite games. So that's awesome.
if you go the download route, each sport can be bought individually for I believe $10. So you could get the golf all by itself for $10.
I'll probably find
So
the disc. You
yeah,
you know me. You know
yeah,
me.
yeah. I would probably buy the disc myself. I'm actually planning on getting Wii Fit U on disc because I have it on physical and it's one of my favorite things on the Wii U. Sounds weird, but it is. I like it. Don't use it enough, but I like it. Anyway, last thing, Wii Pro controller or the Wii U Pro controller.
Yeah, I need to get one myself.
It gives you 80 hours of battery life.
80
80
hours?
hours. Far and away the best battery life of all controllers on the market right now.
Well, I think the definition of pro right there. I mean, shit.
Yeah, and you adjust. Like, I know people bitch and complain about the analog stick placement versus the buttons. You adjust, you get used to it. So, anyway, I think that's about it, unless you had anything else to add. This is a
No,
long
I
segment.
don't. Yeah, very long.
I thought
But
we could do it really quick, but yeah, we use too good to blow through
no,
fast.
I think we're all set there.
All right, so
So I'd just like to say to like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and again, check the affiliate links if you're interested in buying any of these, and
in relation to this
comment.
guide, check out PixMotion. I We mentioned this in last week's podcast, but just to reiterate, I am starting a Wii feature where I will periodically cover various Wii gems, both well known and hidden, and some of those will be Wii U games. So just check that out on the website and let us know in the comments what some of your favorite games are if you already have a Wii U. And let us know about any deals. Spread the word. Get the word out there so we can sell off these Wii U's and people can enjoy it while it's still affordable.
Yeah, yeah, because honestly, I think Adam Karolik's right. This is going to be like the Dreamcast, but the difference is Nintendo games, they
They don't
don't
drop.
they don't drop in value. I mean, it's insane. You like, I go to Walmart, let's say, or even Best Buy, and look at the original Wii games that they still have on the shelf, and they're selling them for full price.
Yep.
Like some of those games are still $60, and it's like, I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. And then you go on eBay, and nope, still $60.
Yeah. Well, even when they get discounted, like the Nintendo Selects, it's like they stay at that price, and then once the system is discontinued, they start to go up
Yeah,
because
it's
like you
great.
can't find them anymore. So what's $20 now is gonna be $50 in a couple years. So get it while you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, definitely. But anyways, with all that in mind, be sure, if you just tuned in onto this segment, please check out the other segments. I'll have them linked. And as always, happy gaming.